Hey everyone, welcome back to 5th grade math with the Sun Devil Learning Lab. This is Miss Delgado, and we're going to learn that a fraction is another way to show division. So the materials that you're going to need is a paper and pencil, and your objective is that you'll be able to interpret a fraction as a division, and then right down there is our standard. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to go over the homework that you guys had from Friday. So if you want to pull out that assignment, you can, or if you just want to follow along, you can also do that as well. So remember that this homework came from the video where we were dividing. I'm going to write it at the top. Dividing a unit fraction by a whole. Okay, so let's go ahead and read the sentence. Solomon has read a third of his book. He finishes the book by reading the same amount each night for 5 nights. What fraction of the book does he read each of the 5 nights? So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a rectangle, and this is going to symbolize the book. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to split this up into thirds. And I'm doing this in thirds because I know that Solomon has read a third of his book. So this one, he's already read this. Okay? Meaning that these 2/3, he still has to read. And he's going to split this up into 5 nights, like it says. So this tells me that the division sentence is 2/3 divided by 5. So this is going to tell us how much he's going to read one night. So let's go ahead and start working on it. What we're going to first do is we're going to split this up into fifths, each third. We're going to split these thirds up into fifths. So that means I'm going to draw 4 lines in between them, because then that will give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That gives me 5 little parts, and that's what we need. So there, we have now 5 parts in each of the holes. And let me just make a box. So this was 1/3, and this is another third. Okay? And so what we're going to do now is we're going to split this up into fifths. So I know, oops. I'm going to use green. This one is going to be a group. This is going to be a group. And I'm putting it in pairs of 2. In groups of 2 is another way to say it. I'm putting it in groups of 2 because I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 slots here for us to group into 5. So in other words, 10 divided by 5 is 2, so that's why I'm grouping it like that. So I'm going to continue grouping. So this is the next night. Here's the next night. And then we're going to do pink. Here's the last night. Alright. So meaning that in one of these nights, so let's just talk about, let's say it's pink night. He reads 2 blank, because we don't know this yet, of the book. So now our next step is to find out what this is, and our denominator tells us how many pieces there is. So I'm going to tell you now, the answer is not 10, because I can see why you'd say that. There are 10 pieces that we just pulled out from the 2/3, but our denominator actually comes from the whole book, meaning that we're going to also cut this up into fifths. And so now we're going to add these into our denominator. So 1, let me do it in a different color so you guys can see it better. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So it is 2/15 of the book read at night. And that is your answer. So here is our warm-up. This is going back to our objective. Students will be able to interpret a fraction as division. So let's go ahead and read this together. It says 3 friends want to share 8 cookies evenly. How many cookies would each friend get? So this is the division sentence. 8 divided by 3. Okay, so what we're going to do is I want to go ahead and make this. Okay, I'm going to first split it up in the middle. So now I have 2 cookies. I'm going to split those up again. Now I have 4 cookies. One more time and I should have 8. So there are my 8 cookies. So I'm going to label each friend by color. So I'm going to say that this is Kyle. This green is Kevin. And then this orange is, I'm going to say Kylie, just to keep the case. So Kylie is going to get 1 cookie. Kevin is going to get 1 cookie. And Kyle is going to get another. So right now, they all have 1 cookie. But remember, we have 5 left, so let's try and figure this out more. So I'm going to give Kylie another cookie. So now she has 2. We're going to give Kevin another one as well. And Kyle will get another one as well because we do have another one for him. But now we're stuck with 2 cookies. And here's the tip that I gave you. They are able to cut up the cookies. So what we're going to do is we need to split this up into thirds. Okay? Because we want the friends to get it evenly. So I'm going to split this up into thirds because there's 3 of them, as we see. And let's see what they each get. So Kylie will get 1/3. So I'm going to put it like that. Kevin will get another third. And Kyle will get this third. And it looks like we can actually do it again. So I'm going to do another one. So I'm going to put pluses just because it is a total. So she can have another third. Kevin can have another third. And Kyle as well can have another third, meaning that it is split up evenly since we have all of our boxes filled. So let's find out how much each friend gets. I'm just going to count up what Kyle got. He has 1, 2, and then we have 2/3. So he has 2 2/3, and then same as Kevin, 2 2/3, and same as Kylie. Okay. Another way that we can see this is rather than just trying to give each friend 1 and just keep going and going, I'm going to erase this real quick and I'm going to show you a different way to see this. I'm going to keep Kyle's work up so that we remember what the answer was, which we got 2 2/3. Everything else I'm going to erase. I'm going to draw now this rectangle piece, and I'm going to split it up into 8 pieces to represent the cookies. I split it in half in the middle, and then I split those halves in half, and I'm going to do that again, and I should get 8 pieces. Alright, so I do have 8 pieces now. So here we have 8 divided by 3. The other way that you can do this is if you cut each of the eighths. Sorry, not each of the eighths. We're going to cut up each cookie into 3 parts. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and split it each one up into thirds. So notice here it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's what I'm doing. So now I have a ton of thirds. What we're going to do now is we're going to count them all up. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and onward. Oops, 22, 23, 24. So here we have 24 thirds divided by 3. So do we know what 24 divided by 3 is? You guys should, and it is 8. Because 24 divided by 3 is 8, but it's 8 thirds. And this answer tells us how much each friend gets. So let's go back to what each friend got. So I'm going to first do Kevin. If you remember, this was Kevin's color. Kevin gets 8 thirds, it tells us. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's how much Kevin gets. I'm going to put his name at the top. Next, we have Kylie that was in orange, and we're going to go up to, let's actually just count. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oops. Kylie. And then lastly, we have Kyle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the rest of it is Kyle's. So how can, this obviously is not what this says, because they look different, right? This says 8, but this says 2. So I'm going to write this differently, because this is 8 thirds, right? We have a mixed number up here. I'm going to use magenta now. This is a mixed number. Let's make this mixed number into an improper fraction. So we have 2 thirds, so that's 3 over 3 plus 3 over 3 plus 2 over 3, and that gives us 6 plus 2 is 8 thirds. So this 2 and 2 thirds is also 8 thirds. Okay? Now, before we continue, I want you guys to notice something. I'm going to just kind of highlight it, see if you get it. So we have 8 here. Okay, so the highlighter's not working. I'm going to use, so here we have 8. 8's at the bottom. I'm going to circle something else on the screen. Do you see where it says 8 somewhere else? And then I'm going to circle the 3. Do you see where it says a 3 somewhere else? So I don't know if you guys noticed, but this 8 and this 8, that was our our dividend. This was our dividend. Has now become our numerator in our fraction, and our divisor has now become our denominator. So this is what we're trying to teach you guys, is that a division sentence is also a fraction, and a fraction is also a division sentence. So we're going to continue and practicing this new information. We're just trying to figure out if this is true, if we can write this division sentence into fraction. And let's go ahead and test it out. So here we have 1 divided by 5. This equals 1. So what we need to do now is we're going to divide it by 5. And so that just means 4 lines in your block. And that gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I know that, excuse me, let me write this over here. 5 units, and this is a unit right here, equals to 1. Because remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This whole thing is equal to 1. Okay? But 1 unit is equal to 1 divided by 5. And we do 1 divided by 5 because this is our 1 and we split it up into 5. Okay? So let's see what 1 unit is. So obviously we have 1 for our numerator, and our denominator is how many pieces were in that whole 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our answer is 1/5. I'm going to do it again. I want you guys to see the correlation. Sorry. Our dividend has now become our numerator, and our divisor has now become our denominator. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue. I'm going to get it started for you guys, but you guys are going to finish it for me. And I have 2 minutes here up on the clock. It won't count down, but I will, it's just so that you guys know how much time you guys have. So we have 3 divided by 4. So what we're going to do is I'm going to first draw a rectangle. I'm going to split this up into thirds, so that's just 2 lines in the middle. And what you guys are going to do next is split this up into fourths. So, sorry, the first thing you can do is split up a third and then make other lines. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in one of them. So now I have another set of fourths. And then lastly, we're going to do it to the last one as well. Okay, so now go ahead and find out and continue the equation. Let's see what you guys can come up with, and go ahead and get started. Alright, so let's go ahead and start working. So notice how we just cut this up into fourths, right? So let's count up all the fourths we had. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, oops. Let's count one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12 fourths divided by 4, which equals, so 12 divided by 4 is 3. So 3 fourths, which in other words is 3 over 4. So again, notice our dividend is now our numerator. Our divisor is now our denominator. Okay? So let's go ahead and go into our last one. This one I'm going to let you guys do. We have 6 divided by 4. Go ahead and take your time, and timer starts now. Alright, let's go ahead and go over this last one with you guys. So the first thing that we're going to do is, like we did like the other ones, we're going to first draw out our 6. So I'm going to first cut this in half. And I'm going to cut those up into 3s. And there I should have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that is what we have. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to split each of the 6s up into 4ths. So that's 3 lines in each, and that should give me 1, 2, 3, 4 of them in each. So I'm going to continue doing that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And remember, when I make 3 lines, that gives me 4 blocks inside each little unit. So now I have this up cut into 4ths. So let's count up all the 4ths. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Here we have 24 fourths divided by 4. And do we know what 24 divided by 4 is? That is 6. And, it's 6 fourths. In other words, 6 over 4. And again, recognize that our numerator is the first number in that division sentence. Our denominator is that second number. Alright, awesome job. So here's your homework. We'll go over this in the next one. 3 divided by 9. Do those same steps where you create that rectangle. Split up each of the units. So you're going to split up a third into 9 pieces. You're going to count up all the pieces you made. So it'd be like that number. So let's say it's like 18 thirds divided by 9, and continue working on that. We'll go over that in the next video. I just want to say thank you guys again for watching the Sun Devil Learning Lab in the 5th grade math section. Your objective today was that you'll be able to interpret a fraction as division, and I hope you guys can see that. And we will jump into next week's video into something a little bit more deeper and something that we did kind of go over today. But thank you guys so much, and have a great rest of your day.